process of working on the album after the single release of Bust This Rhyme. I had already been working on a few other songs for the album, and MC Story was probably the most dearest to my heart because it was my chance to express what I felt at the time, and probably what I still feel, to be what it really means to be an MC. And so I began the process of writing MC Story, like I said, really from my heart, of being somebody that was really respectful of the culture of hip hop, and I was pretty satisfied with how my lyrics turned out. And while in Manhattan, and of course I wrote all this at home. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. But I was in Manhattan at Sutra Records. Obviously, Fever Records is the label, but Sutra was the company that pretty much ran the business operations of the record label. And we started talking about with Sal, owner of Fever Records, the Fever label, as a historic club, Disco Fever. Started talking about I think we had like a 12-bar spot for a collab, and people weren't really doing a lot of collabs back then. And so we started kind of going back and forth on who we wanted to possibly collab with, and all kinds of names were being thrown out. Contemporary people who were out at the time, somebody from Houdini. I would have loved to have Run DMC on it, but I think that was I was overshooting that one. And we even reached back to some of the old school, talked about Curtis Blow, Fat Boys. We were label mates. They were on Future Records at the time. Roxanne Shante came up because she was kind of the vehicle that even got my record deal going with Mr. Magic. Mr. Magic, Fly Tie, were traveling with Shante, and I ran into them. They heard a tape, and that led me to Fever Records. But so then Melly Mel came up, and I don't know if they brought it up just kind of in passing, but I was like, oh my God, we can get Melly Mel? And they were kind of like, you would be interested in that? And I'm like, hell yeah, like one of the greatest rhyme writers that there ever was. And so they said, well, we'll contact Mel. And the kicker to this story all the time is the part when they say, we don't, and when I say they, I'm talking about the record company, Sutra, the people of Sutra Records, is saying, we don't really want to pay Mel any royalties, so you're going to have to write the lyrics. And I'm like, okay, hold on, wait a minute, stop, count to 10. Did you all just say I was going to write the lyrics? And they're like, yeah, so we can just pay them a fee, so we don't have to deal with record royalties or, songwriters agreements. And I'm like, wait, you do understand that you are casually suggesting I write rhymes for one of the greatest, if not the greatest, rhyme writers in the history of hip-hop. And I don't think they really grasped the concept of what they were saying, and I was kind of in disbelief that we were even having that conversation. But they assured me that it would be okay to me still believing that this was never going to work, and that, Mel was never going for that. And one thing led to another. I continued. I stayed up nights for about 3 weeks, writing and balling it up and scratching it out and rewriting it and listening to, every Melly Mel lyric that I could get my hands on. I watched Beat Street 27 times. listen to super rapping, listen to, man, everything I could just, just channel Melly Mel. And I came up with 12 bars. And went up to New York. We were in, I believe, Quad Studios in Manhattan. Famous for the place where Biggie recorded, where Tupac got shot. Famous for that. Then, we were here at Quad Studios. Melly Mel walks in looking, like Melly Mel, the icon. And I'm like, wow, that's Melly Mel. And he comes in, and he has a friend with him. He comes in. I've told the story millions of times, but he comes in and he says, okay, let me hear the track so I can, write my lyrics. And I'm like, oh, shit. Obviously, they didn't tell Melly Mel that, that somebody was going to write his lyrics. And so I believe my producer, Mike Chapman, said, well, your lyrics are already written. Somebody already wrote your lyrics. And the look on Mel's face was like, what the hell? Like, he didn't know what to say. And he kind of looked like, who? And he kind of like had a laugh. Like, who wrote my lyrics? And man, I'm sitting over on the side like, please, somebody turn on this track, get this man a pencil and paper and let him write lyrics. And so they're like, well, no, Chill wrote the lyrics. And he was looking at me like, are you out of your mind, dude? And I'm looking like, yeah, I am out of my mind. I don't know why we even were doing this. Not to say, I was very, very proud of the 12 bars that I wrote. I mean, I lost sleep many a night writing those lyrics because I understood this was an honor. I mean, more than an honor. So, best thing that could have happened, Mike Chapman, the producer, said, well, I'll tell you what. Let's turn on the track, because I had already done my lyrics. Let's turn on the track. Let's listen to what Chill wrote for himself was already on the track. And then we can have a discussion after that. And so they turn on the track, and of course we're in the studio, so the best sound you could ever have. And the lyrics come on, and the song starts, and then my first verse starts. I wrote this story not just for me, but for those who long to become MCs, for those who know, who understand how good it feels with a mic in your hand. Anyway, I went in on that first verse. Not me there, but it was on the track. And it was done. And Mel, whoever the guy that was with Melly Mel, looked at Mel and was like, "No front, Mel. That was dope." And Mel was like, "Okay, let me see what you wrote." But now it was a different tone. And I handed it to him. I'll never forget. It was on a yellow legal pad. And I handed it to him. He looked at it. He grabbed a piece. Let me get a pencil. And he kind of scribbled on it. I'm like, okay, he's making alterations. So far, so good. And he said, let's go. He went in the booth, and he pretty much rocked the lyrics that I wrote word for word, except when he got to the end, I think I had written something like, my name is Grandmaster Melly Mel, and he changed it to, and my code is Grandmaster Melly Mel. So he literally only changed like one word. And he was I was excited about it, and he was kind of feeling it at the time when he said, come on, man, let's do some more. Come in the booth. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm about to go in the booth with Melly Mel. And we went in the booth. He said, let's do the hook together at the end. So there's creating a world which is made of words where a portion of our life sometimes can be heard. He rocked, okay, I'm going to go with limited lyrics. And I go looking for glory. And it's what we both did. And it all can be found in an MC story. Then he said, okay, let's do some more. I'm like, wow, okay. So he said, I'm going to ask you a question. And then you ask me the question. I'm going to see how'd you get in the record business. And so I asked him how you get in the record. I saw Herc in 76. Seemed like the thing to do when he said, how did you get in the record business? I just wanted to tell my story. And we were finished with the set. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And the biggest compliment I could be paid is when people tell me, yo, Mel laced you with a nice verse on your song. And for people to actually believe those were Mel's lyrics, let me know that I did an excellent job. So that's what stands out the most. Other than the song really being from my heart, what I'm saying in it, and other than that, the next thing, probably the most important thing, is the whole Melly Mel experience of him contributing to the cut.
Creating a world which is made of words, where a portion of our life sometimes can be heard. We're living in lyrics, looking for glory, and it all can be found in an MC story. Me, but for those who long to become MC, for those who know and who understand how good it feels with the mic in your hand. If you're down and you know it, you're not just a poet or just anybody there with the mic in your face. You're the heart of the street, the king of the beat, a slave to the rhythm that rocks the place. You're a DJ's dream and MC supreme, cold being chilly most, if you know what I mean. And every night I pray, each and every time, and thank God to be born with the power of rhyme. My neurological need, psychological lift, it is a mission to explore my God-given gift. To want it so bad, we would do it for free. We were sworn to be born the supreme MC. MC story, MC story, MC story, MC story. Creating a world which is made of words, where a portion of our life sometimes can be heard. We're living in lyrics, looking for glory, and it all can be found in an MC story.
And there was life from dusk to dawn, and soon the whole world will sing along. We don't stand for one, we stand for all. That's why an MC story is down by law. From the street to the stage to raise all hell, and my code is Grandmaster Melly Mel.
At parties I've seen people laugh and cry, and right before my eyes I've seen homeboys die. We've seen the right, we seen the wrong. That's why we rap our words instead of singing a song. But if we sang a song, we always sing of how one day we will become the king. Not the king of the land or the king of the throne, but a king that rocks the microphone. We get promises, just good luck. They all claim for money they can hook you up, but if you make a mistake, it's the chance you'll take, or whether or not you'll never get your break. So reach for the star, it's your only chance to be loved by millions, is the big romance. If you're looking for the people who are looking for glory, look in the words of an MC story. Living in lyrics. Living in lyrics. Living in lyrics. Living in lyrics. Creating a world which is made of words, where a portion of our life sometimes can be heard. We're living in lyrics, looking for glory, and it all can be found in an MC story. Story. That's why we rap our words. That's why we rap our words instead of singing a song. MC story. MC story. Living in lyrics. Living in lyrics. MC story. Living in lyrics. Living in lyrics. MC story. We were sworn to be born. We were sworn to be born. We were sworn to be born the supreme MC. To think to the rhythm of a different beat. To be an MC is to be in love. Let your mind travel far with the stars above. To be the king of rock like we're DMC. To have the power of Kumo D. To have the class of Jekyll and Hyde. To be pioneers like the Furious Five. To rule the world like Curtis Blow. Your name in lights everywhere you go. To make the whole world a hip-hop. Believe it our turn. If there's a story in your heart, a gleam in your eye, we'll be MCs until the day we die.
Yo, Mel, how'd you get started, man? I seen her back in 76 and it seemed like the thing to do. How'd you get in the record business?
I just wanted to tell my story. Creating a world which is made of words, where a portion of our life sometimes can be heard.
We're living in lyrics,
Looking for glory, and it all can be found in an MC story.
1, 2, 3, in a place to be. Right or wrong, they will sing my song. You must want to be born the supreme MC. 1, 2, 3, in a place to be. Right or wrong, they will sing your song. You must want to be born the supreme MC. 1, 2, 3.
Creating a world which is made of words, where a portion of our life sometimes can be heard. We're living in lyrics, looking for glory, and it all can be found in an MC story.